You don't need magic to disappear for a while, because Firestone tires were built for ticking off mile markers. Firestone Destination LE3 tires. For 70,000 miles of exploring. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
When Ed Mitchem joined his father's tire business in Springfield, Missouri, tires were still changed on the ground with floor jacks, and selling seat covers and curb fillers was part of the daily routine. Well, that was 85 years ago. Today, the Mitchem Tire legacy continues with 5 thriving locations, a loyal customer base, and a third generation carrying the torch. Ed helped grow the company through decades of change, expanding from a single downtown shop into a regional brand built on smart buying, no-nonsense advertising, and a service-first mentality. After all, his motto, before you switch 'em, see Mitchem, stuck around for a reason. Ed officially stepped away from the business 10 years ago, but his impact still runs deep. Now his great-nephews, Corey and Stevie Kruze, are helping to lead the operation, taking lessons learned from the shop floor and applying them in a modern market filled with new challenges. Today I talked to Ed, Corey, and Stevie about what's changed, what hasn't, and why the business still feels like family, even as the industry gets more crowded. Welcome to Johnny G and Friends. I'm Johnny G, and on today's special podcast, we're joined by Ed Mitchem of Mitchem Tire down in beautiful Springfield, Missouri, and his 2 great nephews, Corey and Stevie Kruze, who own and operate Mitchem Tire today. They'll be joining us just a little bit later in this podcast. Ed, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
Good seeing you, my friend. I was thinking about the first time we met, Ed. I remember our good mutual friend, Dave Sauber, who was general manager, as you know, of Dayton Tire Sales back in Akron, Ohio, back in the mid-'80s. And he told me that we need to go down and visit with Ed Mitchem and break some bread because you're going to love his operation. Can you believe that's been over 40 years?
Yeah, I believe it. My back tells me that.
We had a lot of great times with Dave back then, didn't we?
He was special. He'd call and say, "Can I come down?" And I said, "Well, yeah, come on down." He usually had a deal, though. Yeah, had a trailer or 2 full of goodies, which is kind of fun for him to come down.
Absolutely. So, Ed, your father, Clarence, started Mitchem Tire back in 1939. Back then, though, they were selling bicycles, seat covers, and automotive accessories. Can you talk about Mitchem Tire and what it looked like back in 1939?
Well, it was kind of the old street-looking building that had a front door where you had to get the drunks out of it every morning when you went to work. Had seat covers and curb finders and mud flaps, anything you could put on a car, spotlights. That's the kind of stuff you put on cars back then. And the tires were real skinny. Most of them were tube type. You had to put tubes in them. All the tire repairs were mostly hot patches, so you had to vulcanize a patch onto the tube to repair the tire. Service was done outside. You didn't have a nice, warm, closed shop to work in. Tire brands were limited back then. One of our favorite brands was Cyberling, which was a brand of Firestones at one time. They had the little holes in the side of the tires for air vents. Kept the tire cool is what they told us. So,
really?
So it was quite different. But I was pretty young back then. I didn't remember a lot of it. Got pictures of Corey's granddad's car in the service department, which was a vacant lot behind the store.
So you were actually changing tires? I mean, they were actually changing tires outside then in those days, huh?
Oh, yeah. I changed them outside. They did have an inside changer if the weather got bad, but they still had to carry them out and put them on the car, even if we had snow and ice. So it was, being a tire buster back then was kind of a tough job.
I bet. Sounds like it. So What was the state of the business when you started working with your father, in the 60s as a young 17-year-old?
I was not really prone to get into the business too much at that time. It was just a way to earn a little money, so I could do run around a little more. But eventually, I got into selling tires, and I liked the tire business. But my dad also was in the auto trim business, so we had seat covers and floor mats and all that kind of interior stuff for vehicles. And I didn't like that. And it was kind of starting to be a market that was dying out because the interiors were coming in a lot better in the vehicles. So you're getting more vinyl, more leather, and they lasted longer. So you really didn't cover them up with clear plastics or anything. Eventually, we decided to have our own building. We built a new building and got rid of all the auto trim stuff. And my dad still made us put up a display in the new building with seat covers. He thought that was still part of the business, so we did. But we put in 5 bays and had alignment and kind of expanded a little bit down on the main drag of Springfield. So, that was a fun time to get in the tire business.
It was a lot easier with the number of tire SKUs, tire sizes that we had back in those days, right?
Oh, yeah. You had 670s and 710s and 600s. They didn't go very far. 10,000 miles was about the max. So today, you get a tire every once in a while runs 100,000 miles. So quite different.
Very, very crazy. So back when you were, again, working with your dad, do you remember over the years when your dad actually started asking you about your opinions on maybe the direction of where the business should go? Do you remember when that might have happened?
Well, he was pretty good about giving me his opinion. So we decided to do some kind of expansion, whether it was buying new product or changing services or anything. And he's pretty cautious. He said, "Oh, I don't think you can afford to do that." But we finally would convince him, and he got where he kind of stayed out of the business after that.
So did you kind of take over then, late 70s or early 80s?
Yeah, but that was about the time. My memory's not real good on dates, but when we moved into the new store on St. Louis Street, it was about the time we really took over. He'd come in and sit down and visit with us.
So let me ask you, Ed, you've seen every kind of business cycle, booms, recessions, pandemics, and everything in between. Well, what's the most important thing a business owner should do to survive during these tough times?
Well, in the automotive business, you're kind of exempt from the changes in the economy. People still drive. They still need tires. You just kind of have to adjust price wise as to what they can afford to do. But it's kind of recession proof. So you got to have car service during any kind of recession.
So taking care of the customers and giving them the price that they can afford at the time was the best thing that you could do.
Yeah, maybe a little installment payment plan back then was big. Sometimes it was hard to collect, but people could afford so much a month that maybe not pay for a whole set of tires at one time.
Sure. Yeah, I remember taking payments, and people would come in and make $8 payments every week, and we'd credit them. They'd come on a weekly, actually would come into the store on a weekly basis and make an $8 payment, a $5 bill, 3 singles. You give them a receipt, and then he'd be back next week.
Yep. Yeah, even a few layaways.
And a few layaways, yeah. I remember those as well. Yes. So, Ed, is there anything you know now that you wish you could have told your younger self when you first started at Mitchem Tire?
I wish I would have been a little quicker about expanding and putting in more stores. I didn't do that. And these young kids that, well, they're not young, middle-aged kids that are running it now, they're doing that. And they're doing a great job of expansion and got their eyes open for a new market all the time.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, Ed, you had a partner named Steve, who I believe was your nephew, correct?
Correct. He's not here, but he still checks on his sons here occasionally, and I think they always considered him when he was working as the highest paid delivery boy in town. He'd run tires between the stores. New computer systems were hard on him.
So, Ed, how did you guys complement each other on a day-to-day basis?
He did most of the running and bookkeeping of the store, and I did mostly purchasing and advertising. And then, of course, we both did sales. So we worked pretty good together. Of course, you know, any partnership, especially family, you're going to have some difficulties, but you can get past them.
So you guys turned the leadership of the company about 10 years ago over to Corey and Stevie, his sons. What made Steve such a great partner for you?
He was honest and straight with me, and actually he always looked out for his old uncle. He was really good at that.
Got to have somebody that's honest and looks out for you. That's a key. So, Ed, Steve's sons, Corey and Stevie, have now grown Mitchem to 5 locations. How do you feel about the growth and the reputation that they've been able to accomplish while maintaining the values that Mitchem Tire has stood for since 1939?
Well, I think they're doing a super job here. They're still looking for more locations, and I think the boys are very careful about what they jump into. It's going to have to be a market that's where there's customers, and it's got to be a location where there's some visibility. And they like buildings that are finished and usable currently, because they're a lot less expensive to buy than it is to build anything.
That's right. So if you could give one piece of advice to the entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast today, what would it be? One piece of advice from all your wisdom.
Don't get in the credit business.
There you go.
Keep your operating capital in your store and let somebody else handle all the credit. That was always one thing where you could lose a lot of money real quick.
Gotcha. Well, that's a good piece of advice.
Treat your customers right. Greet them when they come in. Always answer the phones. There's nothing worse than calling a business and they don't answer the phone. Just being good to your customers, that they'll come in and they'll keep coming in on you.
You built your business with relationships, and the customers, when they see your smiling face, even today, because you're back in the store, I'm sure you could probably drum up some business by just saying hello to everybody.
Oh, I come in here occasionally. I run into somebody I know. So, an old customer, they're still trading here. It's amazing how long people trade with us. 30, 40 years, they still buy tires here and get their service here. So it's really rewarding to see that.
As we start to wrap up your session here, is there anything else that you would like to talk to my listeners to today about anything that you've learned in the business or anything that you want to share?
I would suggest, if you get in the tire business, try to purchase or own your facilities. Real estate purchases are great, and that's the only thing that's kept me in retirement, is to have some income off of the existing stores. And these boys are doing the same thing. They already own one, and they've just bought another one. So that real estate thing, when they get ready to get out of here, they've got some income, retirement income, that'll last them for a while.
Great advice. Great advice. Yeah, I think over the years, most of my tire dealers that I've talked to in the 55 some years I've been in this business, they all said, I made good business in the tire and service business, but I made more money in real estate. That's true. So what are you doing these days now that you're retired? Are you, where are you hanging out? You down in the Ozarks or what?
I go to the lakes around Branson quite a bit. I've got a home down there and a home here, and I play with electric trains, and got an old '04 LJ Jeep, which is a rare item, and
Oh, yeah.
I ride around in it with my dog with the windows off, and I go to 3 old geezers breakfasts a week and visit with old friends. So, and then I've got a wife that's keeps me pretty busy too.
I say, it sounds like you're living the dream, my friend. You're living the dream after all those hard years of working.
Well, all those hard years of working, you have a few aches and pains. All tire people seem to have back trouble from lifting tires all their lives. But if you can get past that, we do pretty good.
Well, listen, I appreciate all the tires, especially the Bridgestone, Firestone, the Dayton, the Cyberlings, all those tires you bought over the years, because it helped pay for my salary, and I definitely appreciate that, and your kind loyalty. And now with the third generation aboard, I appreciate again everything that you guys did to support our company. And thanks for the sign in the background, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate having you down here.
All right.
John,
I'll be looking forward to seeing you.
You were really entertaining at those big meetings.
Had a lot of fun at those meetings, Ed, over the years. Yeah, had a lot of fun. So Corey and Stevie, welcome to the show. How you guys been?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
I'm doing wonderful. So Corey, you started busting tires in college. You've now been doing that for over 25 years. You've seen a lot of changes. What's the biggest challenge, in your opinion, facing tire dealers today?
It's definitely labor. It's been a whirlwind the last few years on trying to find some good quality help that'll stick around and be loyal. I feel like the last few years have probably been the hardest just because of that main reason. Lately, it seems to be getting a little bit better, but still not where it needs to be.
Did a lot of that happen after the pandemic hit, or
it have you just seen it because that triggered it? I'm not sure what caused it or what, but it seems like right about that time it kind of got to that point.
I think when you talk to most business people, whether it's restaurants, and we still have the issues when Kim and I go into a restaurant and we see that, they got plenty of empty tables, but they don't have enough servers to take care of you. And obviously that's the same thing tire dealers are facing. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's still the good ones out there, but they're harder to find.
So do you work with your local high schools or trade schools or anything in the area?
We've reached out a little bit, but mainly just word of mouth or Indeed or coming in. You almost have to go through about 10 guys to find or 10 people to find a couple of good ones. So we just usually bring them in and give them a chance, and if it doesn't work, we move on. And if we have to run shorthanded, we'll run shorthanded. Sometimes we run better shorthanded.
Yeah, and both of you guys are knowledgeable, so if you have to change a tire, I'm sure you still remember how to do that, right, Corey?
Oh yeah, we're out there every day.
So, Corey, what's a typical 12-hour day consist for you? When you get up and you start working, because I know you don't work 8-hour days. What's a typical 12-hour day for you?
Well, I usually get up and either go ride my bike or go to a yoga class, and I'm here by 7:30 and make coffee and clean the restrooms, and then my brother and I sit down and kind of talk and figure out what needs to be done, and whatever direction we need to go, we go. A lot of the time, just overseeing everything in the shop, and then as soon as I'm done with that, go into kids' sports.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
So last time we talked, it was early in the morning of 7:30, 8 o'clock, and you had already been to 3 stores. So do you get out to see the stores on a regular basis then every day?
Not as much as I would like to. Sometimes I get stuck at our main store where we're at right now, but if I can, I at least try to go out and at least show my face.
Very good. Very good. So, Stevie, when did you come into the business, and at what position did you start?
I did some stuff through high school, just mainly like cleaning trucks, clean the shop. First summer after college, my freshman year, I came back and worked a little bit. And then I came back full-time around 97, I guess. So, yeah, I've been pretty much full-time since 97. Made $7 an hour with a college degree. So,
what did you get your degree in?
basically tire busting. No, it was got a BA in history.
Very good. So, what is your role today at Mitchem Tire, and how do you complement Corey on a day-to-day basis? So, after you have your business meeting in the morning, what do you do?
Basically, my main focus is purchasing, advertising, taxes, AR, AP, all the back end stuff, just vendor relations. Basically, the stuff that my brother doesn't want to do, I'll do, and he does the stuff that I don't want to do. So it works out well.
So that's a good way to complement each other then. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So, Corey, you told me you make a point not to push customers into buying a specific service or product. So how do you balance profitability with ethics in your sales strategy?
It's a tough one. It's a double-edged sword. Ed always taught us, he's like, sell people what they need. And I've always tried to push that. I mean, customers come in. I don't want our sales staff to be pushy on them or sell them stuff they don't need. Just sell them what they need at the time and just recommend the rest of it. People come to us for a reason. We are filled with corporate stores in our town, so there's a reason why they still come to us. And we just have stayed away from that corporate feel and just treat our people right and treat our customers right and just sell them what they need.
That's great advice. So are you seeing generational things from when Ed was working in the store, the father, and now the kids, and now maybe the grandkids are coming into the stores?
Yeah, I've had weekends where I've had the dad and the son come in, not even knowing each other were going to come here that day. And that makes me feel good to see that. And then I've even seen grandkids come in. It's just a good feeling to see that people look to us and think of us whenever they need something done and pass that down to their family.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Stevie, as Mitchem Tire continues to grow, and congratulations on store number 5, guys. I know you just recently opened that in the last 60 days or so. Congratulations. So what strategies, Stevie, and maybe are you implementing, or you and your brother implementing, to maintain that family-owned feel that's been around since 1939?
Just ensuring that Corey and I are both accessible to everybody in our company, from a tire tech to mechanic, sales, managers, just to ensure that they have direct access to us. And so that way we can convey to everybody what we expect, how we want people treated, how we want people to act. So that way we don't want to just have a free-for-all, everybody do their own thing. But we also don't want to be so rigid as, some of these larger corporations tend to be. They have a script they follow. It's, A, B, C, and D. So we give our people enough leeway to where, they can make their own decisions. But at the same time, they're also pushing, our motto, our ethics, our moral of how we go to market. Corey and I are very calculated in how we go to market. We don't overextend ourselves by any means. We've been very fortunate where, we run on cash. I think it's very important for anybody that's looking to get into, whether it's tire sales or what have you, just, make sure you've got that rainy day fund set aside. It doesn't hurt to borrow money, absolutely, but you definitely don't want to be over leveraged.
That's really good advice. Really good advice, Stevie. All right, we're going to have a little fun here at the end of the podcast. It's called Rapid Fire. And I'll start with you, Corey, and then the next question goes to you, Stevie, and back and forth here, all right? But these are just like 1 or 2 word questions, or answers, I should say. So, Corey, age you changed your first tire?
17.
Stevie, what's a word that describes your management style?
Can we say this on the air?
Yeah. Controversial. No.
Okay.
Direct.
Direct. All right. I like that. Early bird or night owl, Corey?
Night owl.
Drink of choice, Stevie.
Bourbon.
Your first car, Corey?
Jeep Wrangler.
Stevie, if you had to start a business today in a different industry, what would it be?
I haven't known anything else, so I'd have to.
That's
stick
a
with
good
it.
answer.
Stay with tires.
Stick with the tire business. Somebody once asked me, Johnny G, if the dear Lord brought you back, what would you want to do? A professional athlete I said, no, put me back in the tire business. That was the best thing I've ever had. So that's a good answer. Stay back in the tire business. All right, Corey, we're going to wrap it up. Stick shift or automatic?
Stick shift.
Very good. And Stevie, finally, what item is worth spending more money on?
Travel.
Corey and Stevie, thanks again for being part of Johnny G and Friends. Thanks for all the business that you've given my company, Bridgestone Firestone, over the years. And good luck and continued success. And I'll be out to see you guys in a couple of months.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you, John.
You don't need magic to disappear for a while, because Firestone tires were built for ticking off mile markers. Firestone Destination LE3 tires. For 70,000 miles of exploring. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.